restart all again with the high diving, a very welcome addition to this World Championships. So the athletes being led out to be briefly introduced to the crowd, and we'll get things underway. Chubo for China, the defending champion, looking in good nick. David Badia of the USA, the Olympic champion, also diving beautifully, but we think this is going to be a very close semi-final indeed. Action to come after the break.
If we could supply fresh water, this would be the perfect location for the new town.
Using their 3D experience platform, Dassault Systèmes proved Georges Maujean's dream of transporting icebergs could become reality. It takes a special kind of compass to explore the world's future possibilities. Dassault Systèmes. If we ask the right questions, we can change the world.
Agora alinhados por ordem inversa àquela que foi a sua classificação nas preliminares. Daqui desta semifinal serão apurados os 12 finalistas para a final da manhã. 8 destes saltadores foram finalistas no último Campeonato do Mundo. Temos aqui uma final, ou a perspectiva de uma final com grande espetacularidade. Para já, os 3 ocupantes do pódio do Mundial 2011 fazem parte desta ordem de passagem. Temos aqui o Bokio, que foi o campeão do mundo em 2011, o David Badia, que foi o segundo classificado, e o Sascha Klein, da Alemanha, que foi o terceiro.
And a further 5 were in the semi-finals. And also, similar to 2 years ago, we've got the first, second and the third. We've got that we have Klein, Badia and Chubo. They got gold, silver and bronze 2 years ago in the World Championship. So it's really tough. There's a few new names in there, but mostly it's the old stock.
Yeah, the old stock. Yes, waiting for the new names to come through on platform. It is a young divers sport, and we are right at the start of another Olympic cycle. So expect to see some of those names surpassed as the 4-year cycle goes on towards Rio. Chubo, though, looking in excellent shape, looking to get his 3rd medal. It's not a 3rd gold, incidentally. It's a 3rd medal at these championships. So he will equal the number of medals won by Greg Louganis, the legendary American who has been here as a mentor with the US team and will be judging the high diving. But he would like back-to-back medals if he can get it. Another shot of Tom Daly, that heavily strapped right arm. Every time he came out of the pool, Tom, he was wincing and grimacing, and it wasn't just about the quality of his diving. He was in some serious pain. He's got his fan club here. Quite a few fans now follow the dive circuit around and cheer Tom on. He's become a very popular figure, not just within British diving, but within diving in general. But we must not ignore the major stars that are also around him. The likes of Chubo and David Badia really are setting the mark for highboard diving. Minibayev looked in super form for Russia. Sascha Klein as consistent as we've seen him for a long time. He dived through in 4th position. Lin Yue of China not looking all that sharp, but we expect him to improve the situation as this goes on. And of course the 2 Mexicans, Sanchez and Garcia, with those incredibly intricate and high-scoring divers, they could feature as well. Men's 10-metre platform semi-final. Finals will be tomorrow. 12 out of the 18 divers we're going to see in action over the next 1.5 hours will progress through. It is very breezy now in Barcelona, and that will make the arm stand dives quite tricky. It made a couple of dives tricky in the prelims. Wind into the face of Kim Sun-bom, and he has absolutely nailed his opener, the North Korean diver, with a lovely start.
Yeah, fantastic jump, double at 10-metre level, triple floating out around 7.5 metres, and that's the way to nail it. He completely blew it in the prelims, only got 40 points, 76 points there. Great improvement.
Pressure on already now. A long pause for Sergei Nazin. The first of our arm stands in this competition. You've got to be a brave man to stick your arm stand in right at the opening part of your dive program. And look at this arm stand. This is quite tricky, coming up over the end of the board, but he's done it well. And that is a super dive from Sergei.
Yeah, it's one of his best ones. That's why he puts it in the beginning, because he knows he can nail it. Just a little flick off there. That is good. Single twist. Now the pike down. Looks at the water. Squeezes the ears. Only real mistake is just the feet crossed over going through the water. And there's the jump off the hands. That's really important for the back arm stand twister.
76.80. Two more arm stand dives to come, including one from the Olympic champion. We expect him to score big with that. Anton Zakharov then of Ukraine. Dived well in phases this morning. He was a bit of a 50% diver. One good round, one poor round.
Can you believe he came back from 26th place at one point?
Yeah, it was a super recovery from Anton. Oh, and he's just short.
Well, what happened there? Came out too early. Start wasn't too bad. There's the throw. Distance was good, just came out too early. Tries to pull the dive around. You have hardly any time to react. You've got to get it right first time. Well, the first miss of the competition.
Yeah, 49.60. Zakharov will struggle to recover from that, I think. Arm stand then from the young German, Dominic Stein. Right place at the right time for Dominic. Young diver, taking his chance. Housding dropped out, but right at the last minute, Patrick Housding, to make way for Dominic Stein. And what a great performance from him to get through to the semi-final stage. Well, no problems at all. Much splashier entry than we're used to seeing from him, but he's got his first dive away.
Yeah, still a junior. Amazing. Into the final. There's the 1.5, then the 2.5. And they dig down. Doesn't really have time to lock out with his hands. You can see the potential in him. Once he gets stronger.
70.20. Solid start. Have a look at the points in round two. Just see what sort of form the guys are in through this first round. Twister then for Rios Lopera. We do have another arm stand dive to follow. It's Tom that opens with his arm stand. So 3.6 for this twister for the man from Colombia, and he was very impressive. Just see that little dip forward as a gust of wind caught him. All the way up there on the top of the board. Again, just that flutter of the feet as he came round, and very splashy on entry as well. So that's not really the start he was looking for.
Yeah, his coach was just saying the feet didn't come up fast enough at the beginning. And then, as you pointed out, those feet moving around, just a little short of vertical. He went the high 70s in the prelims, and this isn't as good. He had a more vertical entry. Good twist position there. Looks like he's flying over the top of Barcelona.
Beautiful line right up with the Church de Familia in the background. 75.60. The tariff at 3.6, just protecting him a little there. 3.5 for the opener for Tom Daly. Listen to that reaction. I think, well, his own performances over the years, plus the London Olympic Games, have really consolidated this man's standing in the psyche of world diving. But in all honesty, Chris, he's not looking in the best shape that we've ever seen him. He's not very sharp at the moment, and this is going to be a big ask to get through the semi.
He's qualified 13th at the moment. Mind you, came back from a very poor semi-finals in the Olympics.
Well, you can't hold a good man down, as they say. That is some entry, and Andy Banks loves it.
Yeah, in the prelims, the dive was too slow. It took a long time to get into the pike. That's faster. He feels more comfortable, gets the feel on his hand as he reaches back. Yeah, good pike position, uses his eyes as well.
That's it. You're right. Boom. From Daly. 89.25. What a way to start. He was just toying with us, wasn't he, in the prelims? Now then, Teng Liang Dui of Malaysia. Back twister for him to get things underway. This will be a push for him to get to the final, but he is diving well enough to do it. But even if he doesn't make it, he's already done a lot for Malaysian diving during the course of this World Championships. Oh, a little overbalance in the wind. Oh, and that's a super recovery. Not easy conditions for the platform divers today.
Yeah, if you get a blast of wind just at the point of takeoff and you're not in balance, and that can drag you into the diving board. Good effort, just a little untidy with the feet, and again, just going through the water. Keep him under 8s. But he only needs an average of 7s, I predict, to get through. 70 points to get through.
Well, 72, good start then. Aguirre. The divers have been pretty good, entertaining as always. Aguirre just needs that refinement for these 6 rounds, and he could get home. And that is a terrific start. Well, it's a relatively easy dive in terms of this competition at 3.0, but that's a beautiful way to perform it.
Good landing, throws at the right time, just taking it easy there. Look at the water, locking out. And again, hardly any splash. Very impressive. Does the roll under the water to keep his feet from going over.
75 marks, that is a good score off a 3.0. FINA world flag flying high above this Barcelona pool. Chiarabini. Quite impressive performance from him to qualify in the position that he qualified, when in all honesty he was not diving anywhere close to how now he can dive. Still a young man, still finding his way in the sport. Can he get sharp for this semi? Well, he tried, didn't he, Chris? Really tried there.
Yeah, he's out at the right time, good spin, just didn't place the hands on the right part of the water. Good there, excellent out. His hands were just not at the back of his ears, but more in front of his face.
59.20, not the start he was looking for. And an early reminder, actually, by the judges there that any splashy entries will not receive the marks. Big start then for Ivan Garcia. Chooses to do his forward 4.5 in the tuck position, 3.7 in the first round. We will see Chubo's forward 4.5 in the pike position, 4.1 in the 5th round. Almost over. Well, again, so good off the platform. He really was high. And then a nice entry as well. He scored, I think, 81.4 as his opener, or somewhere around there. Can he beat that? He should do. He should beat it comfortably with this.
Like the tuck position, just a fraction short of vertical. Yeah, it might go into the 90s.
Yes, indeed.
It's the first of the 90s.
Look at that. Good start from Garcia. Well, we always say it, Mexican dive tariff is high. If they hit them, they can medal. Good to see this man back in business, Vadim Kaptur. When the sun catches that shaved head of his just right, you do see the 10-centimetre scar, and here it is, running across the top, caught his head on the board in 2011, the platform. But has recovered, he's back, and is diving well today. And a solid start from Vadim again, not as tight as he would have liked that.
Yeah, of course, just here at the start, the feet could fly up just a little bit more. Just drags them off the platform. A little open on the pike position after the twist. But again, good technique, looking sharp. Barring any misses, he'll be fine for the final.
3.60 with a word about the core there from the coach. Keep it tight. German Sanchez, he does have the 4.1 inward in his armoury. We saw him use it at the Universiade, but he's ditched it for the World Championships as German. We wonder whether he will resurrect it for the final if he gets through. He would have done it in the second round, but only doing 3.5 in the second round. So 3.3 to start for the second of the Mexicans. No, twisted, I'm afraid, and missed it by quite some distance.
The same as the prelim, he just jumps a long way from the platform. Doesn't go up, it's moving back, and he doesn't adjust the kick out. He kicks forward instead of up, and that makes him go very short of vertical. That's going to score even less than he scored in the prelims.
So look to the heavens, what have I got to do now? Oh, he's got a lot of work. If you consider that his compatriot Garcia hit 92.50, Daly in second place with 89.25. It's a long way off the pace already. Now we've got an interesting little run here, Chris. 4 dives. Lin Yue will start things off, the second of the Chinese divers, and then it'll go Bondar, Klein, Mini Bear for the same dive.
And then 2 dives after that, we're going to see the same dive, but in a pike position.
Yeah, that's a terrific start. What a start from Lin Yue.
Just the entries, isn't it? He missed his entry slightly in the prelims. This is better. Good squeeze. Like the pike out. Again, just needs even tighter entry.
Springboard world champion from these championships in Barcelona watching on. Ho Chong. From Lin Yue. So good 80s start from him. He moves into 3rd place, just behind Tom Daly. But it's Ivan Garcia that still leads for Mexico, as Alexander Bondar comes out to perform the same dive. Look over the edge as he sets himself up. Good start from the Ukraine diver, not quite as tidy as Lin Yue.
Now, he did finish higher than Lin. Good at this point. Sighted the water. He shouldn't have rolled over on that. Yeah, just will score just a fraction below the Chinese. Should be in the low 80s. Good squeeze, good out.
6.40 for Lin Yue, and Alexander Bondar for Ukraine takes 81.60. Sasha Klein, same dive.
Good miss in the prelims for Sasha. I'm sure he'll get it right now.
Yeah, it was the only one that he missed. It was marginal. And then he came back with 5 superb rounds of diving. I think the German coaching staff look the more nervous. And again, it's a miss from Klein. It shouldn't be too much of a problem for him.
Suddenly he kicks out and is wondering if he's in the right place. This is good, but now he comes out, waits. Oh, he was looking right back at the ball side rather than the water.
Oh, I do like that out.
He's still getting that little splash being thrown up. So just needs to flatten out the hand. Wow. Finished above the 7.5 metre on the triple. It's probably strong enough to try that in a pipe position too.
Patiently waits.
Judges are a little bit slow. Sometimes if they don't press hard enough on the pad, it doesn't register the score. It's going to be a good score, though. So far, we've seen 81 and 86, being with 3.5s. Zakov missing his, just 49.
Referee just confirming with all the judges that they pressed correctly, happy with it. And it's a solid score for Milibayev, 81.6 then for him in the first round. That puts him into joint 4th position with Alexander Bondor. So it's Garcia, Daly, Lin Yue at the moment. Mexico, Great Britain, China as the Olympic champion. David Badia prepares for his first dive. He looked very, very sharp in prelims. One error from him, but everything else was solid. He starts with an arm stand, but it's a tough one at 3.6.
Scored 84.6 as he's opened a dive in a prelim. A bit more windy now, though.
Yeah, he's fine.
A huge bubble came up as he went through the water. Just a little long lean. So he's finishing just a fraction lower than he needs to be, but gets his hands to the water. And he too has that ability, as long as he gets his hands flat on the water, he can go through with very little splash. A bit late going into the twist. So he went high 80s. 2 of his dives went into the 90s in the prelims.
91.80. Good, solid start from the Olympic champion, just behind Garcia in 2nd place. Shunts Tom Daly down to 3rd. And Chilbo. So same dive as we saw from Lin, Bondar, Klein and Milibayev, but this one done in the pike position for extra degree of difficulty. Oh, he's missed it.
My goodness, that is a huge miss. Spinning very fast. He did this in a tuck position 2 years ago and got 4 10s on it in the final. Oh, huge miss. That's an opportunity. He was right off in the Olympic Games. He was expected to win, and David Badia came through. Tom Daly was only 12 points behind him as well.
47.25 for a man that gets into the 600s on a more risk than any. First pad of the Olympic champion Badia and the Olympic bronze medalist Tom Daly. And you go right through the 2nd page. Still no Chilbo. Big news outside that top 12. The defending champion, after the first round of diving, is in last position. We'll take a break there.
Morocco, the country that travels within you.
Welcome back to Barcelona, just in time for Kinsumbom. And a little bit splashier than his first entry.
Well, as he hit the water, his feet exploded apart. Just draws the knees up into the tuck position. Good out. The feet need to be together, especially at this standard of competition. We marked down for that.
62.40, but over the first 2 rounds, it's solid enough from Kim. Mexico lead with Ivan Garcia, David Badia in 2nd, Tom Daly in 3rd. But the big news is that Chilbo, defending champion, who won comfortably in the prelims, is in 18th position after missing his first round dive, but he has the capability to make the points up as the rounds go on. Sergei Nazin then for Russia. That's good from Sergei.
Yeah, much better. In the morning, he went very short on this, and he scored 40-odd points. That's a faster spin. Make sure those feet go up. They are going up. Gets the reach back. Just not fully locking out with the body as it goes through the water.
But it's a good score, 3.6. The degree of difficulty picks him up just sub 80. Zakharov with the same dive that we've just seen from Nazim. Another man that missed in the first round, so he really does need this if he's going to get his challenge underway. And I guess for the other divers currently ahead of Chilbo, it's up to them to try and stay ahead. That's the task. Oh, miss again.
Yeah, it's the out. If you don't come out too fast, out and then reach and pull the dive over. This bit's good. A little bent knee, straightening off the legs now. Didn't need to do a long arm swing out. It's a diver that just doesn't quite get into the finals. 15th in the Olympics, 17th 2 years ago, 4 years ago actually.
I'm afraid he's doing the same thing again. Dominic Stein. Relatively straightforward dive at this level, 3.5. Oh dear, well I heard a funny noise then as he went past, little clip with the feet.
Yeah, let's have a look on this because it could have just caught his toes underneath the platform. Yeah, he's landed back here. I think he just caught his toes.
Just flicked it. That would certainly explain the miss. Don't know if it will be obvious on that slow-mo. A long time before his feet come back round again. There was an ooh, a gasp from the crowd as we heard that second noise. And that's cost him big time, 52.50. Well, it all helps Chilbo out with his climb back to the top 12. Same dive now from Juan Rios Lopera and followed by Tom Daly in with 3.5 somersault.
So we can compare them.
Golden opportunity this for Rios Lopera to make a final. Well, it all looked a bit frantic on the way down. We know that he can hit some great entries, but this isn't one of them.
It seems to have a problem with forward and inward spinning dives. Out too late, pulls the chin down, misses the feel on the hands, and the heels kick over. Big splash been thrown up.
67.2. It's not put him out of the running by any means. Tom Daly. A bit worried there as he dropped his chamois. That was going to hit somebody on the way down. It didn't cause much damage, but it'll give you a bit of a surprise. They're flying all over the place when the divers are in the competition. The British flags once again waving proudly. Great start from Tom to this semi-final. Can he back it up in round 2?
This was superb in the prelims. Went 9s from all the judges.
Unfortunately, that's back to what we saw from Tom in the prelims. A miss from him.
It's very unusual. Tom knows where he is on this. He's looking just a little bit below him rather than in front. And that's why he's kicked over. Got around on the triple, sees it, just reaches for the wrong part of the water.
Yeah, trying to keep it positive, the coaches, but it's tricky. 72 is not going to hurt him. Great score in the first round is just going to support Daly through the next couple of rounds. Arm stand for Siliang Hui of Malaysia. Same tariff as we've just seen from the other two divers at 3.2. And right on the bubble at 12.
Tricky dive for him. Always get it consistently down. The wind's not going to help.
times, got it down, and a decent entry.
Yeah, I think they'll take that. Gets that little flick off. This could have happened slightly earlier. His position's okay. Yeah, he gets a good look at the water, just needs to roll earlier under as he goes through to the entry position.
Let's get the crowd happy. These coach reactions direct to the camera are a bit of a new phenomenon. And a few coaches emerging as real characters. 72 marks for Uy, that's good stuff from him. Andy Banks in particular, Great Britain. He's come up with a few interesting poses. Yeah, I'm expecting him to do the same bolt before long. Yankila Aguirre then for Cuba. 10th after that first round. And it's very good. It's a nice entry. It's a solid dive.
When he kicked out, I thought he was going to go very short. Just a little open. But here, kicks horizontal. Gets that reach back. Good job he did that. Otherwise he would have lengthened his shoulders. High degree of difficulty. Just short of 80 points. Good.
Yeah, that'll keep his challenge on track. Time for another forward 4.5. We're going to see it back-to-back 3 times by Bondar, Klein and Minibayev in this second round, but it's Andrea Chiarabini who will deliver the second one of this final. Not the highest tariff dive, but still exciting. Well, it was good height, wasn't it? But he just couldn't get the rotations and ran out of room at the bottom of the dive.
It was faster spinning than the prelims, but he's still dragging the knees up in front of him. So he has to pull the knees right apart to increase the rotation. Gets the pike out and just needed an extra, maybe metre to lock his arms out.
Get the boys happy anyway in the coaching pen. 79.55. That should keep Andrea happy as well. And Garcia, the man that was leading for most of the round. Great dive from him and then stayed on top of the tree just ahead of David Dyer. Back 3.5 for the Mexican. He has some huge dives to come, including the 4.1 inward, which equals Chubo's 4.1, although he does a completely different dive. What an interesting dive, Chris.
Yeah, he jumped like he was going to do a back dive tuck and not a back 3.5. That's so slow. He's squeezing like dear life, kicks, and now reaches right back. Lucky to get that dive through. An amazing jump. Just needs to coordinate the arm swing with it.
Total commit at the end of that dive. Well, he knows it was a strange one, but he's got it down for 75.90. His first round score will support him. All about the kick for these guys, where they come out. That's where the timing element comes in. Now Vadim Kaptur, as the breeze continues to swirl around, as the pressure of an arm stand into his back at the moment. Just about squares it up, but he's away quickly. That won't help him in terms of the start of the dive, but the finish, Chris, was absolute belter.
Yeah, it's getting sharper and sharper now. Just tell by those entries. Well, that's making it tough. There's the twist. Pike. He's squeezing like dear life here. Where did the water go? Almost kisses the end of the diving board. And the final push off the fingers. Good technique.
Good score. 79.05. Towards the final at the moment, Vadim Kaptur. Now, Jonas Sanchez has some recovery work, just like Chubo of China. Both men missing in the first round. Some divers we saw from Kim and from Rios Lopera and Daly. wind just howling around the microphones. Oof, again, an overbalance. That's more like it. Good dive from Sanchez.
Yeah, he did the right thing there. He played it safe. But after those two wobbles, he decided he was just going to take it back a fraction. He's normally a little bit closer than that. He adjusted the kick out so he wasn't kicking out the pack too early, because he knew it would be just a fraction lower. Even on pool deck, you can see the wind swirling around.
72, solid. That might just help him a little bit, but he's another one that needs some decent scores as he moves through these rounds. 6 rounds of diving, remember, for the 18. Only the top 12 can go through. Now, Linue got very ragged in the prelims this morning. Had a good start, though, to this semi-final. Can he keep it going? There's a lot of routine about what China do. They're still pretty relaxed at the semi-final stage, and he just went up there, got straight into it, and nailed it.
Part of the art of competing is to feel, as long as you correctly do your dives in practice, to feel like practice session. If you're relaxed up there, your arms swing fast and get into your dives quickly. Just a little flat feet. With 80 points in the first round, that entry, something like that again. Even better. 89.
Very good, very good. 89.10 then for UA. Now, interesting little phase for this second round. Bondar, Klein, Mini Bayer forward 4.5 somersaults in the tuck position for 3.7. Raved about this dive a few years ago, but now, of course, it is getting to be routine. Oh, no, short.
He landed way back from the end of the platform and then shot forward in it. Didn't get the dive moving up. There, right back from the end. He's now travelling forward. Already he's too low. He's going to struggle to get out. Didn't even try to grab his hands.
57.35. That is going to hurt Bondar's chances. Drops him straight down to 9th, with 4 divers still to come, so he could end up outside that top 12. Sasha Klein in 16th position. Talked so much about his consistency, but it was another poor dive in the first round. However, from this round onwards, he really improved dramatically. And that'll do. Oh, what a dive!
That's fantastic. Definitely the best 4.5 we've seen. He just hit the end of the diving board, straight up in the air, double finished there, triple above the 7.5 metre.
Just vanished on that.
He needed a dive like that. 56 in the first round.
What's the coach upset about? Unbelievable. 99.90. Klein back in business with an absolute belter in round 2. Oh dear, and how must Mini Bayer be feeling now? He is more than capable of going in with that sort of entry. All about the top for Mini Bayer. He needs that height away from the platform. So he has to get this approach and takeoff right. And that's better from him. It's going to get him some decent marks.
I don't think the entry was as sharp as Sasha's. He's just a little slow at this point. Pulling these apart to increase the rotation. So it's not a 99 dive. Not quite in the same class as Sasha's.
88.80, trying to remember what he got in the prelims for that dive, but that's a solid score.
69.3.
Well, there you go. Miles better. So Mini Bayer will be feeling okay about things. So Budaya. Some divers we saw from Pera and Daly, Kim, all doing this dive in this round. Sanchez as well. Sanchez in a bit of trouble at the moment, the Mexican.
David Sands with a lot of foot on the diving board.
Yes, indeed. Olympic champion gets one away in the second round.
Trying to squeeze out a few extra scores from the judges. Good throw. Excellent distance. Fantastic tuck. Just a little bit over, but no splash.
Christian Ipsen leading the cheers in the crowd. Americans keeping it nice and loud. 86.40 then. It's all good at the moment for the Olympic champion. It's not so good for the defending world champion, and Chubo almost looks a little sheepish up there on the platforms. 18th position. When was the last time in international competition he'd have found himself there?
I don't think ever, and I don't think he'll be in that 18th position for very long.
It's funny you should say that. So arm stand for 3.5. Beautiful. No, 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 no. What is happening with Chubo?
Well, this dive nearly went 100 points in the prelims. Oh, slow getting into the pipe. He's squeezing. He comes out as normal. And that's why it's dropped very short. Well, he might have to be in 18th place for a little longer.
Oh, he is as well. That's incredible. 64.75. Well, that gives us that little bit of extra excitement in this competition, because we will have to see if Chubo can climb back through the rankings to book his place in the final. Top 12, remember, that's where he's got to be. Olympic champion takes over in top spot. Lin Yue in second, Victor Minibayev in third. Ivan Garcia slips back to fourth. Tom Daly still comfortably inside the top 12. Sasha Klein recovers the situation. He gets to 7th, and Bondar losing a little bit more ground to drop down to 12th position. But look at this. There's the big news. Chubo, defending world champion, languishing at the bottom of the leaderboard.
Let's go!
Welcome back. Third round of this semi-final. Well, strange one from Kim, but managed to get a reasonable entry out of it, the North Korean.
Very slow spinning. Well, very lucky also to get the reach back. 13th place at the moment. He's just about 2 points down from what he needs. It's going to make him about 10 points down.
Yeah, 64.35. That's off the pace for a top 12 spot. Now, I keep dropping my co-commentator Chris Snowd in it, but while we were away on that break, he said, you know what, I think Chubo's going to come back and win gold tomorrow. Well, he's got to get back from 18th place at the moment. That's a story we can follow all the way through. And it's up to the rest, Chris, to keep themselves ahead of Chubo.
At the moment, the leaders have an 80-point lead over him.
Nazin then in 6th. And the Russian ticking over nicely.
Well, I saw him do this in the prelims. He kicks his feet right up at the sky on the triple. Spinning fast, that's good. Now out, and then floats around, and then lines up. I think he's just trying to show off here.
Works for him, though, doesn't it?
It does.
Got a slightly unusual camera angle that makes the diver look very, very tight to the end of that platform. 81.60. This is good stuff from Sergei Nazin. So golden opportunity for him to make top 12, but still a long way to go in this competition. Zakharov needed something just to pick the confidence up. It's a relatively straightforward dive. It won't help him a tremendous amount on the score, but it just might help mentally.
Yeah, not a great jump. Just pitches it forward off the end of the diving board. It's a low degree of difficulty. Not going to help him that much.
But in there with 8s, 7.5s, he'll feel better about that. But it doesn't really advance his cause. Dominic Stein, it was going so well for Dominic. Bit of a fairy tale, to be honest, through from the prelim phase. Promoted into this competition due to the withdrawal of Patrick Harsding. Got a miss in the last round, dropped him back down to 16th. No, and it's funny, isn't it, how the divers lose their confidence when you just get a little something go wrong. We think he clipped his toenail on the platform last time up.
Yeah, I think just slightly as he came around for that 3.5. Or too early on the out. He's not spinning fast enough to be able to pike out of this. Comes around on the triple, out early, drop short.
Basically means that is it for Dominic Stein. Just down to him now. He's going to have to rely on others missing for a place in the final. Juan Rios Lopera then, 11th place. Just ahead of his second round dive. We talked about the fact this was a golden opportunity, and it really is. He goes 3-3, 3-0, 3-3, 3-3. So he can't really compete against a lot of divers around him with that tariff unless he nails every single entry. It's okay, but that's about it.
A little bit of splash, getting caught on the back of the shoulders. Get reached back on the end. Well, the flick off's okay. Just dropping. He tries to reach back. Didn't have his head tucked in.
Should get into the 70s.
Right.
Yes, so there we go. 74.25 or 217.05 overall. So Juan keeping his hopes alive. And then probably the most fervently supported diver here in this semi-final, young Thomas Daly of Great Britain. He's been around forever, it seems, doesn't it? Needs to keep it together. 3.6 in this next round. Just needs to recover from what he would consider a miss in round 2. Dropped him from 2nd down to 5th. In fact, he was 3rd down to 5th by the end of the round. And that's more like it. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, much faster than the prelims. Hence his relief there. There's the reach back. Get quicker into the pike. Good pike at this point. You can see he's looking as he's going around. Very clever old Tom. Even when he's going short, there's no splash.
Terrific effort. Coaches becoming the stars and celebrating a fantastic score. 93.60 for Tom Daly. It's another fabulous score for him. And a place in the final is looking good. Yang Hui, one of these divers with that slightly suppressed degree of difficulty. It's going to be a fight to get in. But diving like that, he's got every chance. That's the more simple dive, the forward 3.5 for 3.0.
He went 72 points on the first 2 dives. It's about the same score he'll get.
72. Good shout, Chris.
Well, he'll get through if he goes 72 on
He's
every
going to be
dive.
okay, isn't he? And he deserves it as well. Put in some serious work over the last few weeks at the Universiade and now the World Championships. Now look at that flag blowing. That is right into the face of Jens Aguirre. And wouldn't you know it, just as that breeze picks up, it's his turn for the arm stand. To come, including this one. Looked in control all the way, didn't he? That's a super effort from the Cuban.
Very fast twist on the arm stand. Did the right thing. Pushes and then whips that arm up and then in. Felt very comfortable for him. That's the way to do an arm stand. I've seen a lot of the divers push and bring their arms around the side, and then the twist is slow.
And that is finals scoring. Well done to Jankler. Now then, Andrea Cherubini. 2 with an arm stand, but just that 0.1 additional degree of difficulty. Saw one failed arm stand dive in the prelims.
He's struggling. It's going too early.
He's got to hold it. Got to hold it. Oh, that is super strength. And then gets his entry, and oh well, it had you on the edge of your seat, Chris.
There was no spin whatsoever. So he tries to flick, but nothing really happens. Squeezing like dear life, just kick your feet up, you'll be all right. That's the right thing to do. Probably scored quite well on that. It's because of the vertical entry.
Brilliant effort to keep that handstand there. Klaus DiBiase, 2-time gold medalist on the platform back in the 70s, watching on. It's a veritable who's who today, isn't it?
No Laganis at the moment. He's out at the high diving facility down in the marina. They're just going through all the judging rules.
Yeah, we might have all of the big names tomorrow for the final if Dimitri Sotin puts in an appearance. Now then, good score from Cherubini. Puts him up into 4th place for the moment, which is exactly where Ivan Garcia was after the first 2 rounds. Arm stand from him as well. So this arm stand from Luis Lopera, from Colombia, and from Kim. No, right in on his shoulders.
Yeah, the feet dropped below the 10 metre as he pushed off his hands. You see, as he pushes off his hands, his feet go down underneath the 10 metre. Just kills some of the height. Tries to lock out on the end. The water hit him just a fraction too early. 79 in the prelim, and exactly the same score in the semis.
Yeah, and a little disappointed look from Garcia. It's not a problem for him in terms of qualification for the final. But his own little goals. Now, Vadim Kaptur drops it down to a 3.0 in this round. He doesn't actually have a very high-scoring tariff, but he is diving beautifully at the moment.
The only thing I've noticed about Kaptur is his feet could just be a little bit more pointed on his entries. Just be extended more. Almost looks like the toes aren't touching each other. There's that classic roll that the divers do under the water.
Solid 72. Not bad off a 3.0. So, Joan Sanchez next up. Outside a place in the final at the moment for a diver that really should be there. But remember, he's got a 3.7 in the next round with his forward 4.5. He's got a complex twister. 3 twists to take him to 3.8 for his final round. So he just needs to lay a foundation here in round 3.
This is a back arm stand triple somersault. Done in the easier tuck position. Hold it long enough.
Oh, well done. Good entry at last.
Pick up 8, maybe some 8.5. Would have liked to see the handstand longer. Fades off maybe a second or two too soon. Doesn't matter. Get that entry. It's going to be another 80 dive for him.
Indeed it is. 84.15. So good stuff from Joan Sanchez. That has helped him a lot in this round, and it kind of sets the tone for the rest of this competition for him. Well, Linue has been very ragged in comparison to what we see from him. He's still in 2nd place, but he can squeeze more out of these dives than he is doing. And a huge miss. He's gone in right on his back.
Well, where did that come from? He didn't swing his arms up, he jumped back away from the board. There's the lean, that's happening now, there's the lean. Very slow. He finished the double way underneath the ball and then doesn't adjust the out at all. Comes out in normal place. And that's the consequence of it, very flat.
Goodness me, 41-4-0. Drops the Niue to 8th position at the moment.
He's on his way to join Chubo.
Well, the script is written, isn't it, for Chubo for the most dramatic comeback we've seen in a while. Alexander Bondar. Also in that sort of territory, down in 14th position. Arm stand for him. One more arm stand to come after this from Klein. Ooh, easy does it.
It's a tough arm stand. It's a 2.5 twisting back double.
That's not very good at all, I'm afraid, from Bondar.
Yeah, made it hard work with that. Didn't get the arm swinging right up over the top of the head. Yeah, it's just around the side, and there's the wobble, feet not being together. Mind you, 3.6.
Yeah, it'll keep the score up there. Pretty impressive to get that far away from the platform on an arm stand. 81 marks then for Bondar. So, strange dive, but he's got some marks for it, which will help. Sasha Klein in 7th. And genuinely looks a bit tense up there, does Sasha? Didn't have a care in the world this morning. Dived beautifully. First round excluded.
I think it's only for this dive because it's the arm stand. Just went 99 points on his 4.5.
Yeah, quite fabulous strength from Klein. It's a solid dive. It'll do.
And a big score coming up. So hard. It's hard in the tuck position. He's doing it from quite feet flat, going past the ball so he doesn't clip them. Yeah, good try. Get into the 80s.
He does, comfortably so. Look at that, 89.25. Great dive from Sasha Klein. It's really gone up, hasn't it, since the prelims? It's funny how the divers spark off each other.
We've had 5 dives already score 80 and 1 at 93, just for this round alone.
Bayev then. Goes to 3.3 here, but then he finishes with 3 6s all the way across the board, so he's got a really strong finish in the second half of his programme.
Yeah, 2 of those dives got 90 points in the prelim.
Not a great dive from Victor, but not a miss either.
Yeah, again, he's jumping a long way from the platform. It's almost like he's scared to hit it. So he's travelling forward, still spinning fast though. Because of the movement forward, puts a strain on the back as you kick out and reach. It's hard to get the feel in your hands that far out.
75.90. Again, that's perfectly okay in terms of top 12. David Badai, big dive now for him, forward 4.5, 3.7. Just looking across his dive programme, this 3.7 dive is his highest tariff dive for the Olympic champion. And that'll do nicely.
Yeah, close to 90 points to the prelim. The maximum score you can get on this is 117 points. See the strong jump up, that is good. A little slow here. Good out though, punch. Saw the second foot coming around. Looks quite confident. He's going to score well again on this. And we know he can go over 100 points on this dive. Maybe for the finals.
Steve Foley in the big hat, heading up the US dive programme these days. 92.5 is very good indeed. Now then, back to the story of the day. Chubo, reverse 3.5 in round 3. He cannot miss a third dive. Otherwise he will be in real trouble. At last, he's got one.
Yeah, now he needs to go over 90 points just to get to 15th place. That is how far back he is. Yeah, high finish, kick. Oh, just a little short. Yeah, but... So he won't, I don't think, even get to 15th place, even with great scores. Let's see.
85-80, it is a good score. I'd like to say Chubo is hunting the rest of them down, but it's very slow progress for the Chinese number one, and the defending world champion remains in trouble. Dyer leads from Daly, good round from both those men. Garcia maintaining his challenge in third. Sminibаев, Kleiner and Nazin, so two Russians in that top six. All the way through to the second page, Lin Yue is on the bubble, which means Chimbo is down in 16th place, 18 points off the target at the moment. My goodness me.
In life and sport, dealing with the challenges ahead requires focus, concentration, and a will to succeed. The International University Sports Federation promotes sports values in tune with the academic spirit. Thousands of student athletes from around the world participate in FISA's world-class sport competitions. Today's stars, tomorrow's leaders.
Welcome back to Barcelona. Just debating the fact, what odds would you have got for both Chinese divers, Lin Yue and Chimbo, to miss out on the final here? I mean, they would have been astronomical, but Chris, your immediate answer to my frivolous question was they're not going to miss out.
No, I think they've got a new ploy. They want to be 11th and 12th so they can start off the competition in the final.
And set the bar, put the pressure on. Right, Kim then in his fourth round to get things underway. North Korean athlete in 15th place. Well, he's got the entry again, but he keeps doing this. He's thrown himself a long, long way from the platform.
Yeah, trying too hard, not relaxing enough. And then it just pitches forward a fraction. Now he's feeling stuck or slow in the spin. Mind you, he does the right thing, kicks his feet up in the air, so he didn't go flat on his back.
74.25 for Kim Sun-bom. Great performance so far from this man. Sergei Nazim in 6th position, comfortably inside that top 12 for a place in the final. Tomorrow's final, our last gold medal at this pool anyway. We'll have more gold medals to be handed out in the high diving, but that's at a different venue. Well, he did this in the prelims, and it caught us just a little bit, that long out, and he's done it again.
Yeah, he's actually able to pull this one around. He only scored 47 points in the prelim. There's a good kick, though. Oh, that saved him that reach back.
Now he'll get a decent score for this. Yes, he does. 80.85. That means Nazin still heading for the final. Zakharov now with the same dive that we've just seen from Kim and Nazin, but in 17th position. Just one behind Chubo, incidentally, so he is in good company. Needs this, though. Second half of his programme has to be strong. Strange, very strange dive again.
Yeah, kicking out too early, then he realises, then his feet come apart, and then he finally reaches back. Almost similar to the Olympics for him. Just finished in 15th place, didn't make the final, but had the potential, possibly even medal.
Kopchuk and Fedorova, his teammates, giving you their reaction. And that's what it means. Those two faces mean 66. So, trouble for Zakharov. Trouble for this man, Stein. Languishing at the moment in 18th position.
Yeah, it's just virtually impossible for him to get into the top 12. He's just got 175 points at the moment. It's way off.
Oh dear, and another huge miss. And well, we saw this with Brittany Broban. Caught her foot on the 1 metre and just never seemed to be able to recover her composure during the week.
That's right, it all looks too hard, just runs out of room, and that's painful. Caught it on the back of the shoulder blades, hitting at 35 miles an hour. Started off so well, got 70 points on his first round dive, back arm stand twister.
Germany must, yeah, they must look to Sasha Klein now. So from Stein to Klein for Germany. He is their best hope of a place in the final. Juan Rios Lopera to keep his challenge alive. And that'll do. It's 3.0 on the tariff, so again, it's not going to be easy to score, not with that particular dive.
Yeah, it's the only dive in this round that's that low. All the others are at 3.3s or 3.2. Head down on the entry. He's taken his eyes off the water. Feet kick over on the end.
Got to get into the 70s. Yes, he has done 72, but he may still lose a bit of ground on the rest of the field here. Now, this is big for Tom Daly. 3 rounds of diving to go. They got the Tom Daly masks on. Look at that. I don't think they sell the Chris Snow masks anymore.
Well, they're collector's items, aren't they?
3.7 then for Daly. Hit this, and I think we can say he's on his way.
Yeah, this is his hardest dive.
Oh no, short, very short.
As the takeoff was wrong. He got the throw very hard, but his legs just came up in front of him. It's not what you see, it's what you feel. And here, already he knows he's in trouble, tries to hang on as long as possible, and completely bottoms out on it. It's the timing there. He needs to go back in the gym, get sharper on the timing, but he's been out, injured, hasn't been able to get as much training in.
Andy Banks, for once, not reacting positively with the camera. Oh, that's a great shot, isn't it? As Daly surfaces, but surfaces, unfortunately, to a score of 44.40. I said hit that dive, and he's on his way. He's missed it. He's got work to do. It's going to be a very nervy finish once again for Daly. Not the only one as well, remember. Defending champion Chiubo is way off the pace.
Just looking at Tom's score, he's still about 20 points ahead of what I predict is needed at this point.
So he does have a cushion after that good start. C'est Liang Hui, 13th place, just outside the top 12. And that'll be okay. Difficult to say how much it's going to help him on that 3.3. But the coaches are happy.
Very definite on the kick. Jumps good. Needs to sort those feet out. Very flat. Don't like that. Should be in the 70s though. Just that little ride over. You need to work on pointing your toes. So clearly the judges are marking down for that.
He's anywhere above mid-70s and he's laughing. Okay, 74.25. The divers that are going to be around about that 12th spot, it's work all the way through the rounds. You know, you can't relax at any point. Claire, no complaints so far from the Cuban. Seen some good diving from him.
Yeah, 2 dives at 80 points.
Very nice. A little bit short, but in the context of qualification, that'll do him.
Again, here is about adjustment again. He feels really fast. Great start. And he just comes out a fraction early, feet up in the air, and then he has to dig down to try and get the dive around. He needs to come out as normal. He's going to be down at that, just 20 points in that.
Oh dear. Wow. Enkler 65.60. drops him to 10th, puts him in trouble. Amazing how quickly things can change. Cherubini. Same dive that we saw Dominic Stein miss on earlier in this round. And another man who in 10th position can't afford to miss anything.
He disappeared. I thought he was going to go very short. Amazing jump up in the air and just doesn't spin. What a jump there. There's the first somersault. He's squeezing. He's under the board on the second somersault and has to kick his feet straight up in the air, and there's no splash. What a great effort there.
Third man over 300 after 4 rounds of diving. Cherubini on his way to the final at the moment. And Garcia. Not that happy with his last round dive, but mid-70s he's absolutely okay. He's probably thinking about form for medals in the final. Got to be a perfectionist. Keep working towards the best you can get from your 6 dives. Do very nicely indeed for Garcia.
It's in third at the moment. It's got quite a good score, 247. It's going to be another good score here. What a squeeze. Kicks up. Just 2 little mistakes, slightly forward from the board and feet crossed over going through the water. Apart from that, great dive.
Could get the lead. He's not convinced, is he, Garcia? But he should be. Oh, and the score confirms it as well. 87.45, 335.05. Garcia goes ahead of Nazin. It's Nazin, Aguirre, Cherubini, Daly. That's the top 5 at the moment behind Garcia. But cupped up. There's that strange little blip in his scoring going down to 3.0 in round 3. Back up to 3.2 now for this round, but he has to keep, in particular, hitting those entries.
This is the dive that he hit his head on 2 years ago. Make sure you jump back.
Oh, and he's just taking it over.
Just missing those forward or inward spins, entries. Oh, that's safe. Here. Oh, he's looking at the wrong part of the water. It's a shame. Could have been an 80 dive.
Yeah, the rotation looked quick, didn't it, Chris? What a miss from Captor. 60.80. Can't afford to keep doing that. Sanchez, of course, all these divers that are diving into the 50s, 60s, that's playing into Chubo's hands, who just simply wants to scrape through and get into the final. Back-to-back forward 4.5s now. Sanchez in 14th place will be followed by Lin Yue, who's right on the bubble at 12. Big round this one for Sanchez. This lays the foundation for the big finish. Oh, that's well done. He did just have to reach a little bit for that. Strange lineup.
Yeah, he's reaching too far forward. Brings his hands out in front of him. Good jump. Double there. Triple at 7.5 meters. Quad at 5. Yeah, his hands just flatten. They don't grab.
A little piano solo before he went into the water. 83.25, so sub 300, but Sanchez will be happy enough with that. That will give him a decent chance of getting back inside the top 12. Lin Yue, forward 4.5. Again, it's one of those crucial moments in the program for this young man. Make it, he's back on track. Miss it, could be in trouble.
He missed it in the prelims.
And he's a huge miss in round 4, and China here in danger going into the 5th round of having both their divers outside the top 12, and this entire pool here in Barcelona has gone silent.
Well, I thought maybe in the Almost looks like his hands are slipping. Upright, that's good. Throw, that's fine. Well, it looks like he's struggling at this point. Way too early on the out. Just...
Oh, horrible.
collapses.
Horrible score. 37. Leaves him on 253. And drops him right out of it. He's in 13th place already, Lin Yue. So, as it stands, ahead of Qiu Bo's dive, both Chinese divers are outside the top 12. That is an unheard of situation in the last decade of World Championship diving. Incredible. Bondar got himself back into contention inside the top 12. Oh, nice height from Alexander Bondar, and he does that out that makes Chris Snow wince next to me in the commentary box, but he pulled it off.
His coach is saying, oh, don't let your feet drop down. There's a double, and now we're going to see the pike out. There's the pike, and then the reach back. That's fascinating. Head position's good as well. Chin just up a little bit. Pull the chin down. Most of the divers can spot the second somersault.
See if they penalise him for the feet at all. No, it's good scoring. 84.15. Bondar will take that. That puts him in third place for the moment. Klein then, same dive, but gets those extra 0.3 on the degree of difficulty because he does it in the pike position. Klein dropped back to 5, and the nervous looks around from the coaches. They understand that a miss could be it in this semi. And no problem for Sasha Klein. He can do that a little bit better, but in terms of qualification, that keeps him on track.
Just a little bit of a drift away from the platform there. Quickly into the pike. He's already got one dive at 99 points. That's his 4.5. Went 99 points. He's been getting 80 points on these other dives.
91.80. Sasha Klein takes over in top spot. Just ahead of Ivan Garcia. That drops Sergei Nazin down to third. And Fisher's Lin Yue down to 15th. Incredible stuff. Victor Minibaev then. Not seen an arm stand for a while. So back to keeping an eye on those flags. And again, that breeze now blowing straight into the back of Minibaev. So when he goes into this arm stand, it'll blow onto his stomach and legs, pushing him back. That's good. That is solid. Little twitch of the toes as always. And away he goes. So that'll be fine for Victor Minibaev.
Yeah, he's having a great competition. Only one dive, just slightly under 80 points. Flick off, good arm position, quickly out of the twist, and locking out on the end. Well, there's a person that just missed out on the Olympic medal, 4th, and just missed out on a world medal 2 years ago, 4th.
41.80. I think you're going to remind him about that as long as he dives. I think he's got to win a few medals to put that one to bed. He's capable, we know that. And David Badia, so far so good for the Olympic champion. Reverse 3.5 in round 4. What a cracking competition this is turning into. Real drama here in Barcelona.
The only dive he missed in the prelims.
And that is just beautiful.
Boy, he is on form. And it's over has been thrown up. They are judging the entries. Great top.
3.3 on the degree of difficulty, so don't expect to see a massive score here. '80s will be useful. Well, '80s it is. 3:59.80 then for David Badia. Back to the soap opera that has become Qiu Bo in this semi-final. TV feed. And that is how you do it. Qiu Bo is on the way back.
He certainly is. He's got 197 at the moment. If he gets around 280, it'll be fine. Oh, terrific.
This has got a chance, Chris, of going all the way. This is a huge dive.
This could go over 100 points. Fantastic top. Was in 18th place, moved up to 16th. Where would he be now? He's definitely going to be in the top 12.
All the Chinese coaches on the back of the score. Oh, 102.60, nines, 9.5s. Chubo fires himself back into the top 12 in 9th position. Unbelievable stuff here in Barcelona at the moment. David Padilla still leads ahead of Minibayev and Sasha Klein. Garcia in 4th, Naz in 5th, and Bondar 6th. And then we go to that second page. Hui hanging on to 12th at the moment. Sanchez in there, Daly's in there, Chubo is back in there at last, along with Chiarabini and Aguirre. This competition is set up beautifully. 2 rounds to go.
If we could supply fresh water, this would be the perfect location for the new town.
Using their 3D experience platform, Dassault Systèmes proved Georges Mojan's dream of transporting icebergs could become reality. It takes a special kind of compass to explore the world's future possibilities. Dassault Systèmes. If we ask the right questions, we can change the world.
Welcome back to Barcelona. This men's 10-metre platform semi-final is incredibly poised. Kim Soon-bom will get round 5 underway. We've got a forward 4.5 from Sergei Nazin. We've got a forward 4.5 in the pike position from Chubo, who has dived himself back into the top 12 at the moment. So away we go for Kim. Big dive this one for him. And it's okay, and the degree of difficulty will support the score as well.
Yeah, slight mistake there, just locking out on the knees on the jump. Finally not getting a little reach back to get rid of the splash. His knees bent. Like, tough dive 3.6.
66.60, that's not the score that he was looking for from that. So things becoming more difficult for Kim. Nazin has to sprint into that breeze and then set himself up for this forward 4.5. No. Such a good start as well, Chris. What happened there?
Well, although he's upright, his knees came up in front of him and he's spinning too slow. Upright here, that's good, but here he feels slow. Double was finished too low at this point. Triple and the quad just collide on the water.
5-1-5, a miss from Nazin, and that's a real problem. Well, that's destroyed his opportunities. Will he still be able to make it in? That's the question. He's going to have to be big with his last round. He's certainly got the degree of difficulty to compete for that top 12 spot. Not been a great competition so far from Zakharov. He'll be disappointed with the way that he's dived. Our feet really flat as he came round quite close to the board as well, and then a horrible splashy entry.
Yeah, timing is off on the push with the hands and the flick with the feet. Very bent legs at the first part of the pike. And again, because he hasn't got the very quick movement at the start, finishes the dive too low to be able to reach back.
I've told him, says Prochopchuk. How many times have I told him? Oh, 59.50. It's nice, relaxed reaction. I think Zakharov knows the writing's on the wall. Dominic Stein's, in all honesty, having a horrible time of it in this semi-final. But that's part of the learning process.
Big miss with that back 3.5.
Oh dear, well that'll be the worst possible scenario. He gets his shot at a World Championship competition because Housting drops out, and then he has the kind of competition that affects his confidence for a few months.
Yeah, struggling right here. Ready, he's too low. Tries to adjust and kick up, but kicks over the top of his head. Painful.
Share 26-4-0, and Dominic Stein will be happy when this competition is over. It's going to be his last dive in the next round. Juan Rios Lopera just watching everybody move around him, really. The frustration, I think, for Juan is he can't find an entry at the moment. But his last 2 rounds were good in the prelim. And that will have to do for him. It's getting closer.
Yeah, 13th place at the moment. Dropped back 2 places. Good jump. Just a little bit slow. That's the right kick. Although he arched his back as he kicked. So the dive moved fraction over.
67.65. That does not help Lopera's cause. Jumps temporarily ahead of Sergei Nazim, but both he and Nazim will be shunted down as the divers come through. Twister then for Daly in the 5th round. 3.6, and then he's got a relatively straightforward dive at 3.3 that he will hope to get a real rip entry on for round 6. 10th place at the moment. Daly was going along very comfortably. Now he's back in the mix. Now this is the dive where he has to be a little bit careful with the elbow as he comes round.
Sometimes just hips it into the platform. It's fine in the prelims though. It's really windy now. Just jump back a fraction.
He's clear. But that's a miss. That's a big miss as well. And Daly's going to be in real trouble coming into the 6th round after that.
Didn't finish the jump up in the air. We see he sort of stops there and just twists. That elbow was a little close. Got to get the jump up, otherwise you're losing at least a metre of height. So, dodgy technique there. He's finishing the dive just on the water.
59.40. Not as bad as it might have been. So Daly goes up into 2nd. Lopera and Nazim down another spot. Now, can Se Young Hui keep it together? Been 12th forever, it seems. Just needs to keep hitting those dives, and you know, there's nothing else he can do really. Has to do his best, and then he'll wait and see what happens around him.
Very consistent. Qualified in 12th. 12th after the 1st round. 12th after the 2nd.
And unfortunately, he might not be in 12th after the 5th.
Just kicked out too late. Great jump up in the air. Incredible jump. Double there. Fantastic. He could have done a double on the floor. He's standing there.
49.50. Jumps him in at 6. With a lot of divers still to come. Gear, just trying to flex some of that tension out of the shoulders, and every single diver coming up to the platform looking nervous here. Place in the blue ribbon final of these World Championships on the line. Cuban going well. And we'll stay inside the top 12 with that one.
Yeah, shame that the splash got thrown up because overall the dive was good. Yeah, very relaxed there, spinning fast, not too close, good kick out. He's got his head in the wrong position, that's why the splash was thrown up. She should have gone back with the hands to get a better line.
That's fine. Top spot for the moment. He may drop a couple of positions. All depends on the dive of Chubok. Chiarabini. Almost 3.5. Exactly the same dive as we've just seen from Aguirre, so real opportunity here if he can outdive Aguirre to get back at him. He's just a place below him in the standings. Take that. Great dive from the Italian.
Entry came just at the right time. Well, he's been doing well, just missed one dive. Excellent. And the kick, and just need to work on the feet. His hands found that feel, that rip sound as he lands into the water.
Yes, the feet take it away, but the hands punching for the water giveth back. 80.85 for Carabini. Takes him on to a solid score and a solid position on that leaderboard. Here we go then. Ivan Garcia's big dive at 4.1. This will have to be his banker in terms of guaranteeing qualification. If he can make it to the final, this dive will be his real attack on the gold medal. Missed it, didn't he, in the prelims?
Yeah, he only scored 51 points. He needs to get the jump up in the air and not the jump forward. So he struggled to get out.
Knowledgeable crowd here in Barcelona. They know exactly what's about to happen. Better. That is so much better than the prelims, and he's going to garner a big score here.
Yeah, that's the right way to go for it. It's better to get the slightly over entry, because then you can do a quick roll. That's going to score big. 4.1.
This will put him right back in it.
If you get a perfect score on this, you can get 123 points.
Chubot has exactly the same tariff for his last dive. It's a different dive, last dive in this round, but it's the same tariff, and it's a game changer. And that is a game-changing score. 96.35, 431.40. Garcia leaps to the top, and that's looking good for the Mexican. And it's divers like Vadim Kapcha that are suffering as all the big names are hitting their dives, or starting to hit their dives. Kapcha with his 3.2s and 3.3s isn't quite scoring heavily enough. This has to be good. It is good. It is good, but in the context of this competition, will it get enough points?
Wasn't the right sound going through the water, but jumps well. He pretty much pointed, just crossing over. Moves his head back and then moves his head forward again on the entry. That small movement just stopped the ripping, tearing sound.
74.25 for 359.70. Fifth at the moment. It's going to be in the lap of the diving gods for Vadim Kapcha coming into the last round, and he knows it. Now Sanchez, he's gone 3.7 degree of difficulty, comes down to 3.3, goes back up to 3.8 in the last round. Two solid dives, and you can't see him being outside the top 12, because he can outscore the likes of Kapcha and Wee by such a big margin if he does find a decent dive. And even if he has a partial miss, he probably will still get maybe 10, 15 points on them. So risk and reward here for Sanchez. And that has set things up for the final round. What a way to lay the foundations.
Great entry. This was the lowest scoring dive in the prelims for him. No mistake this time. He jumped forward in the prelim. That was a jump up and positive kick. Definite reach back. And he's looking as he comes around the triple, spots the water, kicks out, and really locks out with his arms for a very tight entry.
3.3 on the degree of difficulty, remember, and a 90.75 score. That is huge from that dive. Brilliant work from Joe and Sanchez. Now, how do you like your pressure? And the sun and the breeze, high above Barcelona. That's exactly what Linue has got. Arm stand dive for him. He goes 3.6, then a twister at 3.6 to finish. He's got the tariff to get through.
Needs to pick up 37 points.
Well, he has no option but to hit his dives perfectly in these 2 rounds, and that is a fine start.
This could be a comeback. No splash, little problem with the feet, that's about it. There's the 2.5 twist, but feet together for the lineup. He needs to get into the 90s for any chance to claw back those 37 points that he's down at the moment.
Nervous look as he waits for the scores. Inouye having a tough old time of it. Look at that, 91.80. 10th temporarily. He will be bumped down a few places from there.
He's back in with a chance though.
But he's got a shot, that's the thing. If he dives perfectly in the last round, then he might just be able to overhaul everybody else for a place in the final. Once again, Fedorova and Prokopchuk watching on as Alexander Bondar prepares to dive this back twister. 6th position at the moment for Bondar. I don't like those feet away from the platform, and then a complete mess as he hit the water.
Yeah, he hit the water with his arms apart in the wide position, so he took all the impact on his head. Big problems though right from the start. And then as he comes around, his hands come apart. He slipped out of the hand grab.
See what Lulia thinks. There you go. Desperate to see a Ukraine diver through to the final. We thought Bondar was going to do it, but that's in the balance now. What a semi-final.
Ridiculous pigeon.
It's corking. Reverse 3.5. Climb one of those athletes for whom there isn't any drama associated with this next round. Just needs to be steady through 5 and 6.
There's 95 points to go into the lead.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine.
Just a bit of splash, but you can tell he's on form. He'll be in the final. He's going to be trying for a medal, possibly even gold. Just that splash will keep him out of 90 points, though. Good dive technically.
82.5. Very good score from Sasha Klein. If he can just sort that first round out, then he is definitely medal material. To Minibev, diving well, 2nd position after 4 rounds. Going to do the same dive as the Olympic champion David Badia, who follows him. 3.6, the degree of difficulty. Remember, we've seen this one in the tuck, but this is pike to get those extra marks on the DD. Get those legs to whip up and into position as quickly as you can. And he did, but he didn't get the finish.
Yeah, chin's tucked in on the entry, so his hands didn't go back far enough to catch the rip sound. Good start, fast spin, double there, come around for triple. He spots the water, that's good. It's not the reach back. Lose 15 points or so. Excellent pike, and he's feeling really comfortable at this point. That's a good look at the board.
That's fine, 73.80. He'll want to tighten that up in the final, which is where he's going. But, he, Klein, Garcia all over 400 points, which is where David Badia should be heading. Olympic champion leading after 4 rounds of diving, and my goodness me, hasn't he looked good.
This was his best dive in the prelim, 97 points.
And that's another super dive. I mean, the coach knows he's just missed it, but it's still good.
Yeah, it's good enough. Steve Foley there, performance for a save, gave a little 90s with a splash. Perfect pike position.
Cracking dive. 93.6. Well over the 400. David saying it felt way different, but yeah, it's still good enough for the lead. Now then, 9th position, he's managed to dive himself back to there from 16th, but he's forward 4.5 in the pike position. And this really is make or break for Chubo. No, missed again.
Yeah, out too early. He fell out of it. Start was good. The arms come back and throw. Double here, triple. Now the quad is out. Yeah, way too early. I wonder if he thought he was higher than he was.
Well, that's going to hurt. 63.55 means that he remains in 9th position. So still inside that qualification zone, and he's got a high-scoring twister to finish. So Chubo should still go through. There's your top 6. But here, Garcia, Klein, Minibev, Sanchez and Chiarabini. That is not the top 6 as we would have written it at this stage earlier today. And that's been part of this fantastic semi-final story. Juan Rios Lopera is back in business in 12th position. Tom Daley just inside that top 12 as well. Chubo still with a bit of work to do. Can anybody outside that top 12 get back and upset the apple cart? Find out after the break. Back to another fascinating 6th and final round. This time semi-final of the men's platform here at these World Championships, but we've had a few 6th round shootouts for the men. This one no different. Kim with his final dive. It's a solid entry. Kim outside the top 12 and unlikely to book a place with that dive.
Yeah, he's on 344. It'd need to be in the high 70s. With that little kick over on the end, I don't think he'll get anywhere near that.
67.20, so 4.11.30. I think we'll be saying goodbye to Kim at this stage. And Chris, the competition very delicately poised. Nazin has got a chance here to cause an upset.
Yeah, he's only 5 points out of the top 12 spot. Just 7 points away from Tom Daley.
So at the moment, it's the Cuban, Juan Rios Lopera, is holding on in 12th. But Nazin not far off it, needs this dive. It's a beauty, let's see what the judges think.
Incredible entry. And it's a 3.6. Excellent twist. There's 2.5 twists fast. Good pull in on the pike. Oh, that would have felt good to him. His hand was very flat. It's taken all of the splash down with him. And he was in 13th place.
4.47.20. Only 3.60. Gives us a flash of the symbol that I think Gareth Bale tried to actually copyright. So Nazin put himself in the mix. That becomes the clubhouse score, I think, for top 12. Zakharov, 17th position. And if only he could have been as tidy as that with his entries for the rest of this semi-final, he would have been absolutely fine. But we're going to be saying goodbye to Anton Zakharov.
Yeah, and particularly what hurt him was his very first dive, that inward 3.5, missing it for 49 points. Should be in the final. He wasn't 2 years ago. Same sort of performance, came 16th, and the same at the Olympics, he was 17th.
Sub 400 scoring, and Anton will know that was barely good enough in the prelims. It's not going to be good enough in this semi-final. Last dive for Dominic Stein. Great experience to be able to get into this competition, dive well in the prelims, but it's all gone wrong in the semis, I'm afraid. goodness for that. Finally gets an entry to leave on a positive note.
Yeah, good final dive. Just needs a little bit more work on the legs and the toe point. Slightly bent knees there. Did well to qualify in 15th place. As you said, Simon, this is a huge experience for him.
Good score, 72. And Dominic Stein can leave with that last dive in his mind, forget the rest, and move on. 12th position for Juan Urios Lopera. 3.3 the tariff. All he can do is get as much out of this as possible and then just sit and wait and see. And it's going to be a nervy 10 or 12 minutes for him.
Just 0.95 behind Tom Daley.
It's a good dive, but I don't know that that's going to be good enough. It's certainly going to leave the door open.
Yeah, it depends on how harsh the judge is going to judge the entry. Good start, excellent tuck position, toes are pointed. Just that pull going through the water. You need 70.3 to be very safe. Anything lower than that, and it's going to be a long wait.
Well, remember, Sergei Nazim was outside the top 12 coming into this round. He scored 4.47.20. Best that Lopera can manage is 4.21.05, and he may have blown it with that final round. Well, listen to that for the fan club. Right behind Tom Daley here. He's under all sorts of pressure. It's the same dive that we just saw from Lopera, but we do know that Daley can get a rip entry on this dive like no other.
Yeah, he's got 10s on this many times before.
Boy, does he need them now.
88 points will be fine for the moment.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful from Tom Daley.
He pulled it out the back just when he needed it. I told you he could get 10s. This is going to be so close. It's perfect. Jump, the tuck.
4.47.20 to beat for Nazim. That was the danger man for Tom Daley.
Ah, it's an incredible dive from the Olympic bronze medalist. Let's see Andy's reaction.
He thinks it's a final place.
So maximum score is 99.
Yes, it looks good. 94.05, 9.5's in there, and 110. Brilliant performance from Tom Daley under serious pressure. 4.52.70. And we think that will be enough to get Tom home and dry to the final. See, Liang Hui, got a feel for the likes of Wee, because it's all going on around them. They've done very little wrong. They've dived really solid program. There are 2 or 3 divers in Hui's position that really the best they can do is try and squeeze something high 70s, then wait and see. And he's given it his best effort. That's a solid dive from Wee, the Malaysian.
Yeah, it's a shame, just at 3.2 degree of difficulty. Most of his dives have been high 60s or 70s. That's a shade short.
For 11.75, it's better than Kim Sun-bom, but it is not better than the 4.21.05 of Lopera. So looks like it's going to be one of the men that misses out. Jenkle McGear enjoyed the way that this man has dived. It's not in the bag for Jenkle yet. This one has to be good. This is the twister we're going to see a lot of in this round. That'll do nicely, and that should be good enough for the Cuban to be appearing in the last final tomorrow.
Yeah, it definitely is. Strong jump, very fast twist, and just the feet a problem. And he gets that lockout on the end. That's so important to be able to get your body tight and go through the water. This will be a good score.
86.40 it is for 4.52.15. Puts him into 3rd position. I can confirm that Tom Daley and David Budea are qualified for the final. We'll keep you up to date as the new qualifiers come online. Again, this twister that we're going to see from the last 4 competitors in a row in this 6th round. Cherubini to book his place in the final for Italy. Well done, young man. A little bit messy on the entry, but that'll be fine.
Yeah, really good. There's the jump. Very strong. Face right across the top of the shins on the pike. Very few divers able to do that. It's that strong.
Goes in at 4. Aguirre is qualified as well. He joins Daly and Bodia. So USA, Cuba, Great Britain through. Tom Daly gets the ice on the troublesome tricep. Let's hope that that does the trick for tomorrow's final. Now, we've got a couple of twisters at 3.8, which could change how things go. Garcia and Sanchez, his compatriot, both doing this dive. Garcia a little more comfortable in second. It's Sanchez that needs the dive.
It's tough. Got the wind blowing towards him. 2.5 triple twist.
Yes, great shot. Lovely, lovely diving.
Much better than the prelims. He struggled. Yeah, a little wobble on the twist. Feet slightly apart. It's going to be a big score, 3-8. Just needs to work on the tension and the head position going into the twist.
Still looking for our first man over 500 in this 6th round.
Oh, he'll do this comfortably.
There we go, 91.20, 5:22.60. Garcia goes to the top of the leaderboard. Remember, Bodia still to dive his 6th round dive. He's already through. He's already qualified. So Garcia, Bodia, Daly and Aguirre are confirmed. Captur, same dive that we saw from Tom Daly. Needs a rip entry, does Vadim Captur, to convince the judges that he's worth a place in the final. 10th position at the moment. No, a miss, I'm afraid, for Vadim Captur, and that might not be good enough.
But it really depends. He's on 3.59. It doesn't get the full jump. I think if you can get close to 75 points, oh, it's a low score.
79.5 for 4.30.65. So it's above quite a few of the competitors, but it's not quite where he wants to be in terms of qualification. Remember, Nazin on 4.47.20. Big finish for German Sanchez, still not doing the 4.1, so this is his highest tariff dive. See if he pulls that out in the final as a celebration if he gets there.
So the hardest twister he can do.
Yeah, there will be 2 Mexicans in the final.
Yeah, he'll be comfortably through. Normally those over 500 points isn't that convincing. All the bent legs there.
He dived far better in the synchro competition individually.
That's right. So we'll see him again, I'm sure.
His synchro partner there, Garcia, at the forefront of that last shot, 85.50. His comfortable smile from German confirms that he is in. So Cherubini, Aguirre, Daly, Bodia, Sanchez and Garcia qualified now. 6 men through, we need 6 more. Lin Yue not guaranteed a place for China. No, and after that, he could be down and out.
Definitely. There's just too many points to catch up. He needed at least 89 points. He was capable of that, but just no spin, the feet apart. Something has gone wrong with his diving completely. He doesn't look like a Chinese diver at all. I wonder if he's carrying some sort of injury or something.
Yes, entirely possible. Chinese coaches always keep that sort of information very close to their chest until after the event. 41.40 for 387.10. We say goodbye to Lin Yue. I promise you that was not on the cards.
Not
when we started off this morning.
Not from an Olympic synchro champion.
So Linue is gone. So we absorbed that information. Bondar, same divers we saw from Daly and Captor. Oh, had to work hard, didn't he? Funny little jackknife into that out.
Yeah, he does the typical pike out that he does, but he does it too early. Good start. I think he thinks he's very high. He needs to be in the tuck just a fraction longer. Should be fine though.
Yeah, he just had enough so that 77.55 couldn't hurt him. 442.85. So Bondar, yes, he's confirmed as through. Bondar qualifies, Nazin has qualified as well, Kirabini is through. Just drops that score demand a little lower. Sasha Klein will be a very comfortable qualifier for Germany. Yes, that's fine. Sasha Klein is through. We're going to see the same twister now from Minibaev, Bodia and Kubo.
Quickly into the twist and then pulls forward. He scrapes through into the 500s. It'd be embarrassing for him if he's below that score. Good lockout on the end. Just needs to get that consistency and he'll be having shots at the medal. Second year.
Yeah, absolutely. Doubled up, individual and synchro last time around in 2011. Got every chance of doing it again. Already the gold in the synchro, remember, for Klein. And he's in the final for Germany. Just behind Garcia at the moment. Minibaev then next to dive. He doesn't have a tremendous amount to do either to get this one home. Big dive, but fortunately for him, he only needs a small reward from it.
Yeah, most divers, if they have a problem with this, they go short because it's very hard to get the rotation, but he's actually pulled so hard at the start. He's spinning super fast. He just can't hold rotation. Comes out, looks forward, feet fly over. But he'll be safe.
Yeah, not a great finish from Victor, but he will take one of those qualification places, which means that we've got 10 qualified. There you go, confirmation. 483.0, sub 500, not what Minibaev was looking for, but tomorrow's another day. David Badia already through. So this is about finishing the semi-final off and ending up in that final where he wants to be. Diving in last place, watch everybody else, see what he's got to do.
He only needs 5.5 to be in the lead after this dive.
And that was a messy one from Badia to finish, but the job is already done.
Yeah, I think he missed his hands. You'll see on the replay. Good jump though, 2.5 twists. He's strong, he's fit, he's sharp. Yeah, he grabbed his hands and they just started to separate. Doesn't matter though. He had such a comfortable lead.
Easy win in this semi-final. But it's back to square one. Slate's wiped clean for tomorrow's final, which is something this man will be happy about. Probably the worst international competition that Chubo has dived to date, this semi-final.
I think how many times he's gone over 600 points and he's not going to go even into the 500s.
So this for a place in tomorrow's final, and the defending world champion will be through, but not without some serious concern, Chris.
Yeah, I don't know how he's going to think about coming back tomorrow, and there's only one other event where he struggled like that, and that was the Olympic Games. He was expected to win maybe by 30, 40 points, and David Badia beat him just by 1.8 points, and Tom nearly caught him as well. think we'll see a different diver, definitely, tomorrow from Chubo.
Real turmoil in this semi-final for 57.55. So Chubo qualifies in 6th position. Nobody could touch the Olympic champion. David Badai just ahead of Ivan Garcia. Klein solid in 3rd. And then it's Minibea for Russia. Sanchez again making 2 Mexicans in the top 6. And Chubo claws his way back from 18th. Remember, he was last place through 2 rounds. Getting through as well. Vadim Kaptur, well done to him. He's managed to hold his nerve to get through in 12th position. Bondar in 11th, and Sergei Nazin means that Russia have representation as well in the final. For Lopera, for Rui, they dive very well, but in the end just missed. Out, and the big news, Lin Yue, the second of the Chinese divers, is gone and won't compete in tomorrow's final.
We hope you enjoy your time here and wish to see you again this afternoon for the women's.
We'll be back just about an hour and 15 minutes time for the women's 3-meter springboard final. Hope you can join us.